Tutorial on vinyl wrapping a GPU cooler. Got our vinyl, as you can see it's a little bent from being rolled up. Nothing a bit of heat won't fix. As you can see, heat is your friend. Cool, so all nice and flat. What I've done is I've put it on the graphics card, gotten my edges, made sure that I cover all my ends, and I now have a general shape. Right, next step, we peel off the backing. Okay, backing is peeled off. Now what I like to do from here is lay it over the top of the card. In my opinion it makes it easier, but I have read a lot of tutorials where they say you should lay the card on top of the vinyl. Obviously depends on what you're doing. Pop it down on top of your vinyl. Please pardon the cooler, it's an example. Pop it down on top of the carbon vinyl, and here we go. Right, we flipped it over. Haven't done anything to get rid of any air bubbles or anything along those lines as yet. We have our edges, we know where they are. So, grab hairdryer on a low setting. Just melt that on in. This just softens things up a little bit, makes them nice and pliable. Now we work on the flat surfaces bubbles. A little bit of heat and a little bit of rubbing gets us there to that point. Obviously there's still a lot of work still to be done. I've pushed the edges flat on that side, although as you can see they will need to be cut to fit. Now the magic of heat. I want to work in those there, and then all of those ridges that this card has. Okay, I can't seem to find my credit card to use it, so I'm just going to grab a nice old Teasers logo I happen to have lying around. Don't ask, one drunken night in 4 ways. Any case, now we're going to heat them up. Heat them up and run them down. I would obviously recommend a rounded edge card so you don't poke any holes through, but you get the idea. And with enough heat and frankly effort, they will stay there and they will look good. On to the next side, heat them up. Careful not to overheat. As I said, this stuff does melt relatively easily. Look, these. You see there, I just did it. I stuck the edge through. Any case, my main point was here. Now that it's heated, you can actually see the full stretchiness of this stuff. It actually does go remarkably far. As you can see, it does stretch quite well. And when it stops, a little bit of heat will help you out. And again. Okay, well, that's the basics of that. Let me get you the edges, which are going to be a real bitch. Onto these edges, which I just know are going to be a pain. I actually don't know how I'm going to do those. Okay, so with a little bit of heat, a little bit of elbow grease, I've got that corner done basically. As you can see, those edges are still a little off. Where's focus gone? Sorry about that. As you can see, those edges are still a little off. But basically, you heat it, you pull it, you heat it, you pull it, you heat it, you pull it, you heat it, you pull it. But yeah, I think that covers basic concepts. do that other corner. Okay, so there we have the basic stuff done. As you'll notice, the edges are still a little rough. All we want is the actual line of the card. Those edges will still be heated and stretched out, although this was a lot trickier than I thought initially. Let's have a look at doing this. My word of advice is always work in X's. Okay, so I've got my X. And I think I'm going to need a bit of heat for that, to be honest. Ended up chopping the middle out anyway. I'm going to have to wrap the inside of the card once I'm done. In any case, a little bit of heat and we sort. Okay, so top is done. Obviously I still need to just do the final tidying on it and stuff like that, get rid of a few bubbles and unleash the MSI logo underneath there. Bottom, we now want to tidy up this mess. Okay, so edges very crudely cut. Again, time for heat gun. Hairdryer. I know, I'm trying to be fancy. Okay, well that's basically my tutorial, first ever. Yeah, I know it doesn't look great, but this card is actually a scrap. This is a scrap cooler, so I don't really care too much. But yeah, there's the basics of it. Heat is your friend. Don't try and stretch it too far, it'll tear. And edges like that you can get out after the fact with a little bit of heat. That's all I can think of. Hope you come right, but